is Lisa Montlier. I'm going to talk about my week 3 recording. Information from chapter 14 in Catron. The point about excitement in directing your cast I thought was very important. Sorry, long day of talking, a lot of meetings. So I wanted to think about my undergraduate experiences with our professor, Dr. Joe Slowick. And Dr. Joe Slowick made this point to us, showing us that it was important as a director to show your enthusiasm, your excitement to your students. So, as a future director, I hope that I'm able to show that to my students when I direct them. And I also think that this is important to think about this in the classroom. If I work with my adult education students, I can help them learn to have this excitement as a director of them working on plays in the classroom. I also thought the point on page 194 from Catron, I'm the director and we'll do it my way. Maybe reflect on some past experiences with directors who were this way, who were rigid, who were not flexible. And I think sometimes this can have detrimental effects to a production. Thinking about not changing things and I only think this way and you can't change my mind is not the best approach to do, especially in educational theater. And I wanted to also talk about from chapter 15, I thought about improvisations. I went back and reflected on my role as a speech and drama coach to middle school students who did improv as their presentation, right, for the program. And so we used improvisation as a way of casting students in different sections of the speech and drama team at the middle school level. The students who were in part of the improv team who I was in charge of did a really good job of thinking outside the box, seeing the words, acting it, doing it. So for me, I think it's really important to have improvisation used in casting and also improv teams and also in the theater classroom. I also thought about a quote on page 236 from Catron. Actions speak louder than words. This is so true of theater. The audience needs to see what's happening to understand it. And this might be true as well if we think about learning styles of visual learners. A lot of people are visual learners. They need to see it. And I am one of those learners. So for me, theater does that. I wanted to talk about also the vocabulary from chapter 18. Made me think about the terms that were familiar to me in the past, such as, the proscenium arch and the stage directions. Those were really key and essential as a assistant director and a stage manager in high school and in my college years. And I think knowing those terms were important because the picture that was in the book of that proscenium arch is etched in my mind. I can remember the paper. I can remember the green theater workbook that we had in high school from Miss Baker. So those types of skills are really important because learning them will help me and reviewing them be a better director in the future. I also thought about the term staging and stealing. I learned this in the book that they were the same. And previously, I heard upstaging in high school and college. So sometimes we can always learn new technical language. And technical language needs to be explained to our actors in the classroom and also in the production process. I really thought about the exits that were talked about in the book and how it described them and made sense. The character finishes their words and then they exit. So something like that was new to me as a future director. I thought about chapter 4 from Bauman. And what I reflected on was the read around from page 24. I really thought that this is something I can use in my ESL classroom with my ESL adult learners. Our plays will not be produced, probably, if we ever get back to in-person learning, we're still remote, but they can be done in the classroom, okay? So I was thinking about how this could be done effectively in the classroom setting with students whose language or first language is not English. And my big takeaway from chapter 5 from Bowen was to have the assistant directors, to have the stage managers be students. I know from my experience, undergraduate, college, community college theater, that these experiences help me to grow in those positions. And I think students need to experience that. If they have a little taste of what it is to be in those positions, maybe someday they'll be a director, they'll be a stage manager, they'll want to go into theater. And I know this is true for myself, having that little flame lit of being in a play in middle school helped me to develop the love for theater and the passion that I do for teaching. I also wanted to just make one other quick comment to our professor, Dr. Adair. Yes, I did purchase the book that you recommended. No, I have not read it yet. I've been super busy, but I promise you, over the holiday break, I will be reading this book. I look forward to learning more information on directing, and the materials that you have chosen for this course have been great. And I'll talk to you all next time. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.